Marvin Harrison Jr. is unlike any prospect we've ever seen. Now, first off, his name might sound familiar to some of y'all out there, and that's because his father is the Indianapolis Colts Hall of Fame wide receiver Marvin Harrison Sr. So as expected, with all the accolades and awards that name carries, there is a lot of pressure on Harrison Jr. to succeed. And it's pretty safe to say, so far, he has exceeded those expectations. I mean, it's not every year that we see people debate whether or not a wide receiver should be taken number 1 overall, and for it to actually make sense. You see, when it comes to other draft prospects, you could find weaknesses or things they need to work on relatively easy. But with Marvin Harrison Jr., you will find yourself nitpicking on the smallest of things so you can try and label something as a weakness. Right now, people are pushing a narrative that he must have a slow 40 time because he opted out of his pro day and the combine. Yet if you watch the tape or even go back to a few months ago, you will see people saying he will run somewhere in the 4.3s. So where is this narrative coming from? I get it's smoke season, but come on. We can't be seriously overthinking this. Now I know it might sound like I think he's the perfect prospect, but he isn't. However, he is the closest thing I have seen to it since I've started looking at prospects. So with all that being said, let's get into the breakdown of Maserati Marvin Harrison Jr. To start things off, Harrison Jr. is an elite route runner. He has extremely sharp and hard cuts, plus silky smooth footwork, which allows him to create separation on routes in many different ways. And I'm not just saying he is an elite level route runner at the college level. No. Honestly, when watching his tape back, his level of route running is honestly on par with some of the best in the NFL. That might sound crazy to some of y'all, but hey, I'm just saying what I see. He also has an explosive quick jump off the line that allows him to get a step on defenders, which he combines with his acceleration and burst to make him a formidable deep threat as well. Harrison Jr. has also shown to be able to win despite constantly being pressed off the line and double teamed. One thing that does stick out to me ever since I heard someone say it, and I wish I could find the video where it was said so I can give that person credit, is the way he moves and uses his hands when being pressed is very similar to the moves we see from defensive ends when rushing the passer. Honestly, it's probably become my favorite thing about his game too. When I first heard it, I had to go back and see for myself, and sure enough, he operates like a pass rusher with his use of physicality while also using rips, chops, and swipes amongst other moves. Now, Harrison Jr. is more than just an elite route runner. He is also a guy you could throw the ball up to and trust he will come down with it, as he has superb ball tracking skills and hand-eye coordination, which he combines with his elite catch radius that allows him to catch passes from a multitude of different angles. In contested catch situations, Harrison Jr. uses his body effectively to make plays toward the ball, and has a knack for high pointing it as well. He has elite body control, which allows him to adjust his body to make some insane catches. And I mean insane catches. It also helps him keep his balance to continue running after the catch. Overall, he has shown to consistently overpower defenders in 50-50 ball situations to give him a better shot at coming down with the catch. Although we didn't get to see Harrison Jr. test out this year, we have more than enough evidence to show that he is a freak of nature athlete. Reports as of 2023 state that he could bench 380 and do 20 reps of 225, which I find to be absurd, especially considering the length of his arms. He also squats 500, has a 10.8 broad jump, a 3.94 shuttle time, and can reach a max velocity of 23.5 miles per hour. On top of that, he measures in at 6'4" and weighs in just under 210 pounds. That's just absurd. Another thing that really stands out to me considering his position is that according to people around him, he is a genuine good guy. I know that's pretty rare to hear about top level receivers, but at least from what others are saying, he isn't a diva. In fact, he's far from it. And for whatever it's worth, from what I see in interviews, he seems like a chill guy who isn't necessarily a social butterfly, but he carries himself well in conversations. Lastly, Harrison Jr. has shown he is capable of producing despite not having a top-level quarterback, as we saw him put up similar numbers in 2023 with Kyle McCord compared to his 2022 year with my Texans own CJ Stroud. Just as a comparison, when CJ Stroud left, we did see Emeka Egbuka's numbers drop this past season. And going into the year, he was looked at as possibly the number 2 receiver in this class. However, with the down year, he decided to return for one more year. Now there are some things he needs to work on, or at least to keep in mind when drafting him. First off, there are some injury concerns due to him having faced some small in-game injuries throughout college. One thing he can improve on is his blocking. He has a willingness to do it, however, he needs to get better at sustaining blocks effectively to enhance his value as a blocker. I know that sounds like such a small thing to mention, but like I said, I'm just nitpicking at this point. Lastly, there are some concerns about his yak ability, but even then, it's not a big issue in my eyes. Now before we wrap this up, I just wanted to say, just because you like a player doesn't mean you need to try and bring another one down. For example, just because Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't test out doesn't mean he is scared of Malik Neighbors. I know, shocking, right? But overall, Marvin Harrison Jr. is simply a one-of-a-kind prospect, and I believe if he continues to dominate like he was in college, then we will see him talked about as one of the best in the league fairly soon. If y'all did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and check out the other videos if you want to hear my thoughts on other prospects. Now, I may not know how he will pan out at the next level, but since I've started looking at draft prospects, including Jamar Chase, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best ever.